Hey, this is Cavallo from datingadviceguru.com. Today we're going to come back at you with some more dating and relationship advice. The question, will he come back if I leave him alone? This is a question a lot of women have. Well, today I'm going to give you 3 priceless tips. Hey, and before we get started, make sure you do the big 3. Number 1, like the video. Number 2, subscribe. And number 3, make sure you turn on the notifications so you know when the next video comes out, because I got another one coming up soon. So the question is, how do you know if your man is going to come back to you? How will you know if he's going to come back if you just leave him alone? Because you want to make sure he's coming back, right? That's a tricky question for a lot of women. If you felt that ache after he pulls away or disappears on you, you know that feeling. First, you get worried. Was it something you said, something you did? Then you feel like you need to do something. Should you text him, call him, hang out on his front porch until he comes home? Maybe break in the back door? No, don't do that. Don't do that one. But then the real panic becomes palpable when you start to wonder if he's ever going to come back to you. The bottom line is that you want to let him go so that he misses you and he wants you back. I mean, you've probably heard that advice before, that you need to leave a guy alone every so often. Why do gurus like me, why do we tell you to just leave him alone? Well, number 1, if you keep pestering him or forcing your way into his life, he's going to start to feel smothered, and then he's going to run away even faster. Number 2, if you want him to really miss you, you have to be willing to give him a chance to miss you, which means hanging around and showing up is a definite no-no. Number 3, when you're alone and the relationship is in jeopardy, you always fall back on the good parts of the relationship, and that's what you want him remembering. Well, that's what I want to talk about today. Will it really work if you let him alone? Well, let's take a look at this, because chances are you're wondering if you can bring him back to the relationship. And I can tell you from experience, and having been a guy my whole life, just exactly how you can make him that time apart work in your favor. First tip is leave him alone. Tip number 1, don't turn into the crazy ex. Even if you haven't broken up yet, you don't want to be the crazy ex. Just about the worst thing you can do is to completely lose your cool and start posting insane things on social media. Things like images of you and him from the past on Pinterest or Facebook. Nope, crazy. Weird video posts online of you just talking into the camera in a daze as you recall the romantic times you shared. Any social media manifestos about how men are all pigs, or oh woe is me, or any other self-pity parties or bids for attention from anyone online. The fact is that social media is about the worst thing you can indulge in when this happens. Of course, there are a dozen other crazy X things you can do, like showing up at his house unannounced, drive-bys at all hours of the day or night, at his home, at his office, calling from a burner phone. You can go really off on a limb here. You don't want to be the stalker. For one, you're going to scare him off the rest of the way, and for another, you'll be leaving a digital record of your coping skills for him, your friends, all his friends, and everybody in the world, including your potential next boyfriend, to see. Leave him alone. Tip number 2, let's just be friends. Not. Another tempting option is for you to pull out the let's just be friends card if he should break up with you. Asking to stay friends is an obvious trick that every guy learns and knows about. It's basically saying, yeah, that's fine, and I'll just stay here looking desperate, like I have no self-esteem and I just can't get over you emotionally. That's what you're saying. And it doesn't make him miss you much at all, except for maybe to hit you up for a few booty calls before he starts dating again and starts sleeping with the new girl. Trust me on this one. Don't even suggest just being friends when that's not what you really want. When you're in the raw, painful breakup stage, the last thing you should be doing is poking at the red skin of your relationship with a knife, which is what you're doing when you're just trying to set things up as being just friends. A lot of women think they can sneak in the back door and get back into being girlfriend again by doing that. Don't use that ploy. Leave him alone. Tip number 3, what's the point? Well, the point is this. A lot of women forget that the real reason behind the leaving him alone advice is, well, first of all, they think that they're leaving him alone simply so that he's going to miss her and take her back. Now, sometimes that works, but a lot of times it doesn't. And you need to know why it doesn't work. Let's say your boyfriend just put your relationship on pause. He wants to take a break, or whatever language he uses to explain the time apart. The reason he's taking this time is he's not happy with you. There's something going on in the relationship that leaves him dissatisfied. Do you know what it is? Because if you don't, well, chances are he's already told you a few times, and if you ignore it, you might get him back a second round, but it's probably not going to last, and it's going to end up the exact same way. So the whole point of the leaving him alone advice is to, number one, give him a chance to start missing you. You want him lonely enough to reconsider you as his partner again. And number two, get your crap together. Okay, I could have said that last one a little nicer, but the point here is really just to keep busy and keep your attitude healthy during this break. Really, stop dwelling on this guy so much. It's really true what they say. If it was meant to be, it will be again, and you being a sad wreck of a woman isn't going to help that to happen. You have to take that part on faith that he will come back if you really sincerely work on yourself and make yourself the kind of woman that he wants and the relationship that he wants. And then when it's time, come back to the relationship in a way that will make him want you again. Now, the secret for doing that is knowing how to talk to men in a way that gets them thinking about you differently. Just click this little link you see below me here and go on over and watch my free presentation on how passion phrases work. It's a free video. It'll show you exactly how those work to make him want you again. And again, those big three, what are they? Number one, like the video. Number two, make sure you turn on subscriptions. And number three, turn on notifications so you know when I put out the next video, because it is coming up real soon. Hey, this is Cavallo from datingadviceguru.com, and as always, live and love with passion.